Alright, guys, I'm gonna do my makeup while talking to you guys again because last time got like a lot of views, so need you guys like them. So that's what I'm gonna do again. Oh my god.
You okay?
Uh huh. Okay. I hope you guys don't fall again, but yeah. Ouch.
I'm gonna be coming behind you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna move your stuff over there.
Okay. Y'all. Get all of these brushes. Some of them I haven't used yet, but yeah. And there's more where that came from, but you know. Today we're going to be doing something different. We're going to put lotion on my face before we do anything. What is real and what is fake? I wanna know what is real and what is fake. Please talk to me. Now I know what is real and what is fake. I think I put too much. Where did it go? You never know. Okay, yeah, I definitely need to do my eyebrows. I put it all over my face. And it's cherry almond. So, I definitely had too much. Got it in my mouth. Got it everywhere. I don't know how, but I got it on my chair. My leg. And I got it in my nose. I got it everywhere. No, I got it on my eyebrows because if you look at them,
Turn the mirror light on, baby.
I forgot about the mirror
Yeah,
light.
me too. You can see better, honey.
What?
You can see better that way.
Doesn't that mean you want me to turn that light off?
I needed to see.
Okay. But I have this one too. So, but once I get to the story, okay. Now, so me and Legend, right? Well, not Legend. Me and my friend, me and my friend Ty, me and my friend Tyrone went. So he's in the 3rd grade, I think. But yeah, we went to the playground at my school, and we went to the playground at my school, and we were on the swings, and then this girl this girl, I think she was in 2nd grade, but yeah, this girl was like, she came up to us and she was like, "Are you guys dating? Oh, how cute!" And I was like, "What the? No, girl, I'm in the 4th grade." And she was like, "Oh, so you're into minors?" And I'm like, "I'm a minor too." And then I asked her if she was into minors. Guess what she said? She was like, "Yeah, cause I'm a minor." And I was like, "So what am I? So what am I?" And she was like, "You're like 13." 13? And I was like, "Yeah, I'm 13, and no, we're just friends." And she said, "Oh, then can I join you?" And I was like, "Girl, I thought you already joined us." She was like, "No, I didn't already join you." And I was like, "Okay, sit down, sit down, sit down. Yeah, sit down." And she was like, "Okay." So then she sat down, and then we were all talking about going to the park after school, and then we were all talking about going to the park after school. And I was like, "Yeah, there's a park right by my house." She was like, how should we know that you're not just trying to kidnap us, cuz you're literally 13." And I was like, "Why do you keep saying I'm 13? Who said I was 13? I'm in the 4th grade." She's like, "I'm in the 2nd grade and I'm 12. Did you get hold back?" She was like, "No, I was 13 in the kindergarten." And I was like, "Oh, so she's dumb. She's dumb." Yeah. And so she was like, "So I'm older than you." And I was like, "Girl, where? Girl, where are you older than me? How are you older than me?" She was like, "I'm literally in a higher grade than you." I was like, "You're in the 6th grade or the 5th grade?" And she was like, "No, 2nd." And I was like, "Yeah, girl, where?" And then after that, I kicked her out of our friend group. So because how is she? Yeah, she's dumb. She's just dumb. Like, she keeps saying she didn't get held back, but she's saying she's 12. Like, girl, where are you older than me? Girl, where? Where? But yeah, we had to kick her out. Only smart people in our friend group. Like, like. But yeah, she really thought I was hitting on minors. I'm a minor too. Doesn't mean I use that to get out of everything. I do. I do. I kind of do, but yeah, it's fine. Everybody knows that. I'm just joking. I hope. I know everybody knows that I'm just joking. But yeah, she really was really dumb. And I didn't even like her. But yeah. And then when we went home, we went to the park right after we dropped off our stuff, because we lived in the same apartments. So, because we lived in the same apartments, and we went on the same bus, and we had the same assigned seats next to each other. So, but later, he got kicked off of the bus, and I was like, oh no! So then I just asked my mom if I could get off of the bus, and she's luckily said yeah because she's a cool mom. Like, so yeah, she said yes because if I don't want to do something, who makes their child do something they don't want to do? They don't want to do. Like, who in the right mind would do that? Like, who in the right mind will do that? So yeah, my mom just said yeah, and then we started hanging out at the child where every child that got kicked off of the buses or just goes by car, something like that. But yeah, we were just hanging out there until he moved schools, and then now I found another friend group. It's all girls this time, and it's with I forgot the names, but oh yeah, Sarah, Stacy, and me. But then one day I went home and I was playing Roblox with Sarah and Stacy, and then Sarah was like, I need to go, and then Stacy was like, yeah, I need to go too. And then because they were just talking about having a sleepover for all three of us, and right after they were like talking by themselves, they were like, yeah, we need to go. So I thought something fishy was going on. So I went over to her house as a surprise. Guess what? They were having a sleepover without me. And I was like, guys. And they're like, oh my god, you found out. And I was like, I'm not dumb. Of course I found out, because that was fishy. And then they were like, yeah, fishy. And I was like, yeah, you guys are the fishy ones. And they were like, wait, what are we talking about? Because they were just laughing and laughing and laughing. And without me. So I left. And we are not friends after that. We're not friends after that because I found out that they never liked me. They only liked me because they thought I was rich, but then when they found out I wasn't rich, they didn't want to be friends with me anymore. So, gold diggers, right? Is it just me, or is gold diggers just popular nowadays? But yeah. It's always the gold diggers. Always the gold diggers who want to be your friends. But yeah, and then I found a new friend group, and they found out by Stacy and the other girl that I was a gold digger, and I didn't even know that I was a gold digger until they're like, "You're a gold digger? We're not friends with those. I'm so sorry." And I was like, I didn't know I was a gold digger. And then I found out that they were spreading lies about me. They were spreading lies about me, saying that I was a gold digger and nobody likes me because gold diggers eat people's money. And I was like, what? I'm literally not a vegetarian. And then now they're like, we only accept vegetarians. And I said, Veronica, you're not even a vegetarian. But I guess she is a vegetarian. Because I said I was not a vegetarian. So, and then I didn't have any friends until I met this one girl. She said she was a gold digger too. And I was like, I don't accept gold diggers. And she was like, girl, I'm only saying that to be your friend, and we became real good friends. And because she's the only one who knew I wasn't a gold digger because she heard our whole conversation. Turns out she's Veronica's sister. So, she's Veronica's sister. So when I came over to Veronica's house and they said that they didn't want to be my friend, well, yeah, she heard everything. She heard everything. And she knows that her sister's a gold digger, so now she knows that her sister's spreading lies, and she was like, yeah, that's just not cool. And I was like, yeah. And because they didn't want to be known as the gold digger people who took rich girls' money, so they had to say that I was the gold digger. Yeah, I learned that out from. Oh yeah, and her name was Angela, and her name is Angela, and she was like, yeah, that's just not cool, girl. And I was like, yeah, because I don't accept gold diggers. And she knows that. She knows that I don't accept gold diggers because who does? Who does? And if you do, bye. Because, but, yeah. Oh, yeah. And she was like, yeah, who accepts gold diggers these days? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, nobody. And yeah, we just started hanging out and we just bonded. And then she told me about her friend group. I became a member in her friend group and I met the people who are now my new besties. I forgot their names because am I supposed to remember everybody's name? Because last time I checked, it wasn't my responsibility. So, but yeah, and then now we all hang out. We all act like we live with each other every time we all sleep over. We all act like we live with each other when we all know we don't. And it's all four of us. And we don't accept anybody else in our friend group. And then a few days later, school ended. And then Susan was like, hey girl, wanna stay at my place for the whole summer? And I was like, the whole summer? I don't even think my mom will let me stay at your place for 2 nights. And she was like, it's fine, just ask your mom. I just asked your mom. And I was like, girl, who asked somebody's mom if they could stay over? She was like, it's all cool. She said, yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That's cool of her. Because she usually says no. But, yeah, I spent it the whole summer with her. My mom was there. That's why she said yeah. But it was all cool because we're all friends. Her mom and my mom are friends. Me and her are friends. And then I came here to my dad's house. And I'm soon going to my mom's house. And I'll do more of these at my mom's house. And now let me tell you guys another story. And then all cool. And then a few days later, she was like, girl, you have to go. And I was like, why? She was like, girl, you have to go. Your mom's waiting for you. And then I was like, why would she be waiting for me? She's like in the living room. And then when I went in the living room, she wasn't there. And then I checked the bathrooms. They were all the doors were open. Then I checked her mom's room. Only her mom was there asleep. Then I went outside. My mom's car was gone. And I was like, maybe she's at work. And then I was like, girl, my mom's car is gone. My mom's car is gone. She was like, yeah, I made a robot of you. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I made a robot of you. And I put it in your mom's car. And they left. And I was like, they left? Where? She was like, just joking. Your mom's at work. And I was like, yeah, I knew that. She was like, how did you know that? And I was like, first of all, you're not really that good at making robots. Second of all, you don't know how to make a robot. Third of all, my mom would know it was a robot. My mom would know that it was a robot and not me. So, she was like, I don't accept you calling me bad at making robots. And I was like, I don't accept you for raming me and making me go outside and check if my mom was there. She was like, okay, now we're even. And I was like, yeah, we're even. And then I pranked her and I said, the toilet's alive. And she believed me. She went into the bathroom. What? She went into the bathroom and she said, and I locked her in the bathroom for maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and she got really sad and mad and a lot of stuff because she knew that her mom would think that we went somewhere, and then I hid so her mom would actually think that we went like somewhere. And then she was like, her mom actually believed that we went like somewhere. So it was good. And then when I unlocked the door and I was like, you better act like we went somewhere. You better act like we went somewhere. And then she was like, okay, just don't lock me back in there. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, I still can't believe that you believed that the toilet was alive. And she was like, and I was like, yeah. But yeah. And then she was like, Brooklyn, the toilet's alive again. And I was like, the toilet was never alive, and I don't believe you. And she was like, why don't you believe me? The toilet is actually alive. And I was like, okay, come on, let's go check it out. And then I heard her say, yes, she believes me. And then I was like, you first. And she was like, I know what you're doing. I was like, no, you don't. So you first. And then she went and I locked her in the bathroom for an hour this time. And she wasn't banging on the door, but she was like going like against the door, and she was like, nobody could hear her because it sounded like she was going like this. So, like, again and again and again. But, yeah, nobody came because her mom probably thought that we were playing and her mom probably thought we were playing, and her mom, yeah, her mom probably thought that we were playing, but we weren't playing, but, yeah. That's why you never try to prank me, because then Susan was very sad after that, and I was like, you better not try to prank me. And she was like, alright, I think I know how to prank you. And then the next day she was like, Brooklyn, your mom's home. And I was like, she's on a business trip, and that takes about 3 days. So did you think I would believe her? Nope, I did not. But to play along with her prank, and I ran out, and I was like, no, she's not. And there she was on the couch, and I was like, wait a minute, is this one of your robots? She was like, no, it's your mom. And I was like, you sure? And then I took that controller right out of her hand before she screamed. I was like, shh, 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 shh. I know it's not my mom. You think you could prank me like that? She was like, yeah, I pranked you last time. And I was like, last time? There was no last time. And she was like, yeah, there was. And I was like, what last time? The last time you think? Because there was no last time. But if she thinks there was a last time, I'm gonna let her think that there was a last time. But yeah, and if she's talking about the last time I locked her in the bathroom for an hour, and she was softly patting the door, thinking that that's gonna get her out. Like, she thinks that's when she pranked me, because she thought that she had locked me in somewhere. Yeah, no. That's not what really happened, but if she thinks that's what really happened, I'm gonna let her believe that. And so I was like, yeah, that was the worst. And she was like, ha 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 ha. And I was like, what are you laughing about? And she said, I'm just laughing because there was no last time. And I was like, you think I didn't know that? You really, really think I did not know that? But yeah, I was like, I knew that there was no last time. And she was like, then why did you say, yeah, last time was the worst? And I said, oh, Susan, if you only knew. If you only knew. She was like, if you only knew. She was like, if you only knew. And I was like, you mean if you only knew? And then I turned around and locked her in the bathroom. She was like, huh, I left that robot with you. And if I just press this button under my sleeve, and I was like, what? And she was like, if I just press this button under my sleeve, the robot will turn on you. And I was like, what? And I was like, what did you create this time, Susan? What did you create this time? And she was like, the destructible robot. And then she clicked the button. But the robot just said, I'm tired, and I fell asleep. So, and I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. She was like, why are you laughing? Because it clearly beat you. And I was like, if you think that beat me, you're mental. She was like, I'm not mental, you're mental. And I was like, girl, the robot's asleep. And she was like, what? No, it can't be asleep. And I was like, it is asleep. So there is no can't. There's a it is in there. There's no can't. There's is. And she was like, ha ha ha. I'm never gonna beat you. And I was like, yeah, you're never gonna beat me. And you're stuck in there for 2 hours this time for thinking that you could prank me with some robot. And I left her in there for about 2 minutes, and she was like, that was the shortest 2 hours ever. And I was like, yeah, maybe because it was only 2 minutes. And she was like, oh, that's even longer than 2 hours. And I was like, girl, get better with time. She was like, I am good with time because I have my phone. And turned, it was 1:11. It was 1:11, and now it's 1:13. And I was like, yeah, it was 2 minutes. And she was like, yeah, that was 2 minutes. And I was like, yeah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then she said, okay, you beat me like 12 times. And I was like, more than 12? She was like, what do you mean more than 12? And I was like, girl, I locked you in the bathroom for about like more than 8 hours, and you think that's 12 times? That was probably like 2 days. 2 days. And she was like, well, then you locked me in the bathroom for 2 days. And I was like, yeah, 2 days. 2 days. Think about it. And then she thought about it real hard. She was like, wait, you beat me for 2 days you were beating me? And I was like, you got it, 2 days. I was like, you got it, 2 days. I beat you for 2 days. 2 days, not 2 days straight, 2 days. 2 days. 2 days. 2 days. But she ended up not getting it, but she was like, yeah, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. Oh yeah, 2 hours. 2 hours is not even close to 2 days. But if that's what you think, then that's what it is. 2 hours, 2 hours. But yeah, since there's 2 hours, yeah. But that's the end of my story. But now you guys have to be with me to take it off and put this on. Okay. Ooh. So let's just give you some. Oh, now let's blow you off. Okay, let me do that again because yeah, now take it off with me. So Bro, I really like how I did the shoop and the shoop. It's like goth eyes. Like, I learned how to do that when I was emo. I learned how to do it. I learned how to do it, and y'all watch. And it came off, but you could still see it. But it's off. It's literally all off. And to check if it's all off, just to check. Okay, so it isn't all off, but I think it is now. Okay, one more time, just to check. Yeah, look, that's all of it. It's all off, but you still see it, right? That's natural blush. Some people say that they have natural blush, but then when you actually see them in person, yeah, they don't really have natural blush. They don't really have that natural blush. But they do say they have it, but they really don't. This is me now. So, bro, it took all of this, all of that. That's how much makeup I have. And then this is how much the makeup the brushes had. Like, all of these brushes had all of that makeup. Like, I think some of the makeup, though, is the lotion, because did you see how much lotion I had? So, but all of these brushes are now clean. And throw all of those away and take this off. But to show you, I'm going to show you what I have in here. Show you all of those brushes. And then claw clips in here. Not really, nothing special. But, and then in here's my makeup. So, bye guys.